When I got home that Tuesday, her shoes were gone and the thermostat was 2 degrees higher than I ever set it. The house smelled like takeout I didn't eat, and the living room light was still on. Her plate in the sink had one smear of sauce, like she'd flicked me a breadcrumb and left for something better. I checked my phone. No text, no note, just calendar blocks she labeled "girl's thing," like she was punching a time card for a job I didn't hire her for. I stood at the counter, let the silence run, and counted the last 3 weeks in my head. She'd been skipping dinner, ghosting weekends, rolling in late with a laugh that never reached me. At first I helped. I cooked, washed, kept it even. I tried to talk. She treated words like junk mail. That night, I took the spare blanket to the guest room and opened my laptop. Private investigator, local, I typed. I wasn't going to ask again where she was. She'd told me without telling. If I'd known where it was headed, I would have slept earlier and saved coffee. She got home near midnight, dropped keys on the console like she owned the whole block, and saw me sitting at the kitchen table with a spreadsheet open. "You're up," she tossed out flat. "I live here. Don't start." "I'm not." I shut the laptop. Leftovers were good. "Dinner with the girls," she said, toeing off her boots one by one, letting them thud. "You would have been bored." "I don't know," I replied. "I'm a fan of fiction." She rolled her eyes. "God, you're dramatic. You've been gone 3 nights in a row. Because I don't want to sit here and watch you stare at the TV while you pretend you're happy." "I'm not pretending." "Well, I'm not either," she said, already walking down the hall. "I'm tired. We'll talk later." She never meant later. The hallway swallowed her. I listened to the bedroom drawers and closet sliding on their tracks like a rehearsal for leaving. Then the bathroom fan. Then nothing. I cleaned her plate and set up a call for the next morning with a man named James Owens who liked to talk in clean bullet points. By breakfast, I'd stopped asking her questions. She wandered in with damp hair and the robe she kept for Sundays she no longer spent with me. "Do you need the car?" she asked, scrolling her phone. "I'm taking my truck," I told her. "I have a thing tonight." "You always do." She glanced up. "Don't be petty." I put my mug in the sink. "I'm reallocating evenings," I said. "I have a gym membership I haven't touched, a bench I built in the garage gathering dust, and friends who keep asking why I vanished. I'm going to stop vanishing." "Good for you," she said. "Maybe you'll finally get out of my hair. Maybe you'll finally say where you go." She walked past me, shoulder brushing mine deliberately. "Girls," she repeated. "You don't own me." "I don't even rent a hello," I answered. She laughed, not amused. "Grow up." I drove to work without music. At lunch, I took Owens's call sitting on the bed of my truck behind the shop where I managed deliveries. Owens was dry and methodical, the opposite of my wife's vague calendar blocks. He asked for dates, patterns, places she liked, the names of friends she used as a screen. "You sure?" he asked. "Do I sound unsure?" I leaned into the shade. "I want facts, not gossip." "You'll get them." I went back inside, wiped my hands, and listened to Nate, my foreman, talk too loudly about a funny video until he noticed my face. "You're somewhere else," he said. "I'm where I pay the mortgage." "That bad?" "She's not here." "Work late," he suggested. "Make money off the silence." "I'm already doing the smart thing," I told him. "I'm done guessing." He nodded like a man who'd slept on a couch once and learned from it. "You know where to find me." That night, I came home at 7 and she wasn't there. I grilled a chicken breast, ate it with mustard because anything else was too close to trying. And I didn't try anymore. She breezed in at 9:30, dressed like a promise she had no intention of keeping. "You cooked?" she asked, sniffing. "For me." "Do you even hear yourself?" "For me. Always you." "That's the first word I've gotten from you all day," I said, rinsing the pan. "Nice that it's about my pronouns." "Stop being snide." She leaned on the counter, flipping through some mail she didn't pay. "I have a late thing tomorrow." "Noted. Don't wait up." "I haven't in a while." The line between us wasn't a crack, it was a measured cut. I made my own linen pile in the guest room, and, next morning, I divided the joint expenses into 2 columns, then 2 accounts. Bills me. Extras. Each. I left a card on the counter with her name taped to it and a note that read, "You're discretionary from now on. Rent on respect included." I wasn't going to argue over groceries or roses. I was going to stop subsidizing a performance I wasn't in. She saw the card when she came in for her keys. What's this? She asked. Your budget, I answered. We're done with the shared card for your girls' nights. We split essentials. Beyond that, we don't sponsor each other's entertainment. You're unbelievable, she scoffed. No, I said. I'm done being naive. The first illusion came that night. She showed up early for once with a rotisserie chicken and a story about a canceled plan. I thought we could eat together, she said, setting plates like we were reenacting a good memory. Why? I asked. Because I was harsh, she replied, eyes suddenly softer. I'm stressed. I've been, I don't know, off. Off how? I need space sometimes, she said. It's not about you. It's in my house. So what? I'm not allowed to be tired. You're allowed to be anything, I said calmly. I'm allowed to notice patterns. She sighed. Can we not do this tonight? Let's just eat. We sat. She asked about my day. She laughed at a minor joke, then reached for my hand across the table with a look I used to know. I let her hold it, not because I believed her, but because I wanted to see the next move. We cleared plates together for the first time in weeks. She brushed my shoulder in the hall, lingered in the doorway like a thought she wasn't finishing. Do you want to watch something? She asked. I have an early morning, I said. Rain check. Her face flickered. Right. In bed, I didn't replay the tenderness. I replayed the card with her name and how fast the apology arrived after the money line moved. I didn't think I'd won anything. I thought I'd poked a system and watched it adjust. 2 days later, I was at Marcus's garage during lunch, because that's where he holds court and calls it a tune-up. He's been my friend since we were dumb enough to drink coffee at midnight and think it was rebellious. He wiped his hands and squinted at me across the fender. You look like a man who's counting, he observed. I am. I nodded at my truck. She's been gone more than home. I've set rules. Good. What's next? Detour, I said. I'm not asking, I'm not begging. I'm removing myself from the schedule. You still believe in the fix? He asked. I believed in us for years, I said. Now I believe in math. Harsh. Clear. The bay door rattled behind us. Gus, the owner, stuck his head in, a guy who tells the truth like it's weather. You want that part or just free therapy? He asked. Both, I said. Marcus chuckled. He's doing the smart thing for once. Gus wiped a socket. Smart guys still get played if they're bored. I'm not bored, I replied. I'm done being polite. I left the garage and, on the way back to work, got a text from Owens. Short, update tonight. I didn't feel anything dramatic. I felt responsible for the man I kept seeing in the mirror. That evening, right before the update, she tried the second illusion. She came into my office nook, leaned on the doorway, and asked, Want me to go with you to your company cookout Saturday? You hate those, I answered. I can be nice, she said. I miss us. Do you? She walked in, put a hand on my shoulder like a silent apology. I know I've been distant. I've been thinking. We should reset. Maybe a trip. Just us. Interesting timing, I said. What does that mean? It means you want optics, I told her. Public couple. Smile for the people. Then you'll vanish again Sunday. That's not fair. Fair is paid. Respect is earned. You've been overdrafting on both. She straightened up. If you're going to keep score, I won't play. You've been playing alone for weeks. My phone buzzed. Owens. I stood. I need to take this. She narrowed her eyes. Another secret? No, I said. A truth. In the truck, parked at the end of our street, I let Owens lay out the data like he was reading a grocery list. Places, timestamps, patterns. Then the pictures loaded. Her with a stranger at a wine bar I'd taken her to twice. Walking out of a townhouse 3 nights in 1 week. Arms, smiles, casual touch that didn't belong to a woman who had dinner with girls. That enough for you? Owens asked. More than enough, I answered. Want me to keep going? No, I said. We're done. I drove home like a man returning a rental he never wanted. There was nothing dramatic to rehearse. I'm not in the theater. I walked into the kitchen where she was loading the dishwasher like a model citizen. Good timing, I told her. She glanced up. For what? For ending this. She snorted. Oh, please. Because I didn't want your cookout. I set the photos on the counter between us. Not words, facts. Her eyes caught, stalled, tried to find a lane. For a second her face went blank in the way people look when a test they didn't study for hits the desk. She recovered with speed that told me she'd practiced it. Where did you get those? She demanded. From a guy who isn't fooled by calendar emojis. You have no right. I have every right to know what's happening in my house and in my life. You push me, she shot back. You're cold. You're controlling. You make everything a rule. I needed something. You drove me there. I let her words hit the tile and slide away. You needed honesty. You chose secrecy. That's not a road I built. Don't lecture me, she snapped. You were never here. You worked late. You never noticed me. I noticed you just fine, I replied. I noticed you didn't want to be noticed. This is your fault, she insisted, leaning forward like she could shove ownership across the counter. You don't get to write that story in my house, I said. Pack a bag. You're leaving tonight. She laughed then, mean and short. You think I'm scared? I could take half of this place and walk. You didn't buy 1 square foot, I replied calmly. This was mine before we started. It'll be mine after we stop. I'm not going to debate the details with you. Your clothes, your stuff, put them in your car. Or don't, and I'll put them in boxes for pickup. You can't kick me out, she flared. I can ask you to leave, I said. And I can change where I sleep, what I pay for, and who has access to my time. That's what I'm doing. You're unbelievable. No, I answered. I'm done being blind. She slapped a hand on the counter. You're pathetic. I smiled without humor. You're loud, I replied. It's not the same thing. She wanted a scene. She wanted me to shout, to plead, to apologize for not being fun enough. I picked up the photos, slid them back into the envelope, and put my keys on the hook, because my keys still belonged here. You have a choice, I said. You can walk out, or you can have Marcus and Gus show up and watch me carry your boxes to the curb. Her eyes flashed at the names. Witnesses ruin good lies. She grabbed her bag, stomped down the hallway, and dragged 2 suitcases out like a roadshow. In the entryway, she paused with a smirk. You know this is on you, she said. I know what I won't carry anymore, I answered. She lifted her chin. You'll be alone. You'll miss me. I'll miss the woman I thought you were, I said. That's not you. She yanked the door open, banged it hard enough to pretend it was a win, and marched to her car. I waited until the engine noise faded. Then I texted Marcus. You were right. Beer later. He replied with a thumbs up and the location of a bar where nobody asks the kind of questions that need tissues. I slept in my own bed that night, like someone had removed a heavy sign from my neck. In the morning I made coffee, set my phone face down, and sent Owens his final payment with a line. We're good. Then I went to the shop, put my head into numbers, and let my hands catch up to my decision. Word gets around. People with nothing to do fill silence with theories. I didn't supply any. Nate came into my office with 2 deli sandwiches. You okay? He asked. I'm precise, I told him. What does that even mean? I made a decision. That's enough for today. He nodded, sat, and bit into his sandwich. Planning to come out Saturday? He asked around a mouthful. Cookout's still on. No +1s necessary. I'll be there, I said. Good. Bring that new precision and leave the frown. At the cookout 2 days later, somebody's kid threw a ball into a grill and nearly invented a story their parents would tell at graduations. I sat with Nate and Tara from accounting on a folding chair that had seen too many summers. Tara leaned over and lowered her voice. She's been telling people you've been distant, she said. You want me to shut that down? No, I said. Let them talk. I'll live my life. You're weirdly calm, she noted. It's not weird, I replied. It's peace. By the following week, my evenings were full of simple things that felt like luxuries. Gym, the garage, a long stretch of road with the windows down. Marcus dragged me to a trivia night where I knew answers to categories like tools and things you shouldn't leave on the roof of your car. I wasn't trying to heal. I was living like my time mattered. 2 of Marcus's friends introduced me to Sophia. She teaches high school science, laughs without checking who's watching, and asks exact questions like she was born to grade essays. You look like a man who knows his way around a toolbox, she said, half smiling. I look like a man who knows where every screw in his house is, I answered. Is that a metaphor? She teased. No metaphors, I said. I forgot how to use them. She liked straight lines as much as I did. We met for coffee 3 times, then dinner twice. Then she came to watch an old movie on my couch and made fun of the bad script. I told her I was exiting something unfinished, and she shrugged like an adult. I'm not asking for declarations, she said. I'm asking for honesty about your calendar. Blocked out, I said. You get Tuesdays and a floating Saturday. Look at you, she laughed. A man with rules. Rules keep idiots from tripping, I told her. She took my hand. No performance, no audience. You're not wrong. A week and a half after the exit, I realized I hadn't checked my phone in hours, hadn't wondered where anyone else was, hadn't walked on eggshells that weren't mine. My house sounded cleaner. The guest room was a guest room again. My truck ran smoother, or maybe I just noticed what always worked. Then Saturday morning came, a month after I'd shut the door on my old life. Sophia stayed over after a slow dinner where we lost track of time because talking was easy. She woke up early and invaded my kitchen with purpose. You chop, she ordered, hair tied up, wearing my old college t-shirt like a flag. You look like a man who can dice. I can dice, I said, amused. We put together an omelet like a team that had practiced. Coffee brewed. The sun hit the dining table in a way that made me think the house finally agreed with me. The doorbell rang. I'm not expecting anyone, I said. She shrugged. I'll get plates. I opened the door, and there she was, my almost ex, standing on my porch like a package I didn't order. She smiled like we were in on a joke. I know you missed me, she announced, pushing past me without waiting, the old move she loved, entering to claim. I let out a short laugh before I could help it. It wasn't cruel. It was honest. What's funny? She snapped, spinning on me. You, I said. And that line. You don't think you did? She challenged, arms crossed, chin up. Be serious. I haven't had a second to miss you, I told her, closing the door behind her because I don't leave entrances hanging open. Not one. She scoffed. You always do this. Pretend you're fine. Where's your pride? In the kitchen, I said, glancing toward the smell of onions and pepper. Busy. She stepped closer like a hug was a key and I'd forgotten. I lifted a hand, palm out. Simple, no drama. No. Footsteps. Sophia appeared in the hall, wiping her hands on a towel like she lived here, which, this morning, she did. Hey, who is it? She asked casual. I watched my almost ex's smile crack. The calculation in her eyes went fast. How to hold the frame, how to maintain altitude, how to turn offense into defense. You replaced me already? She shot at me, volume rising. Not even a month. Time measurement isn't your strong suit, I replied. Also, no one replaces anyone. People take their lives back. Sophia looked between us, picked up the temperature instantly. Should I give you two a minute? She asked me. No, I said. We're good. My almost ex snapped her attention to Sophia. So this is who you picked? Wow. Sophia lifted one eyebrow. A teacher seeing a note passed in class. I picked him too, she said. Mutual process. My almost ex turned back to me. How long has this been going on? She demanded. I let the question hang. Long enough to show me I wasn't wrong about what I want. Unbelievable, she spat. You couldn't wait. You made me the villain and then ran out to do the same. Villain implies a story with heroes, I said dryly. I'm not writing fairy tales. I'm making breakfast. She tried a new angle. You're going to regret throwing away everything. I made one mistake because you were distant and cold and… Stop, I cut in. You didn't make one mistake. You made a plan. You left a trail. You smiled in pictures that weren't for me. You told me I was the problem while you built your exit. And now that your plan isn't as shiny as you hoped, you came back to take control again. That job is filled. Her face twitched, tiny and telling. She hadn't expected me to say it out loud like that. She tried another tactic. You're just trying to hurt me, she said, volume dropping into the wine she used when she wanted me to carry something heavy for her. You don't mean this. I meant it the night I packed your bags. I mean it now. I opened the door. You should go. She didn't move. He left me. She blurted suddenly, like I owed her a hug for the confession. I figured, I answered. You misjudged your moves. That doesn't make me your safety net. So you won't even talk? After everything. She waved a hand around my entryway like the paint might defend her. We did talk, I said evenly. You made choices. I made mine. That's the whole conversation. Tears appeared like a plan B. She scraped them up, clung to them, tried to ride them through the doorway. You're cruel, she told me. I'm consistent, I said. There's a big difference. She glanced past me again to Sophia, hoping for a reaction, a flinch, a crack. Sophia gave her nothing. Just that steady teacher's look that says, we're not writing your excuse on the board. You replaced me with a child? She tried, desperate. Sophia laughed once. I grade papers and pay my own bills, she said. If that's childish, you should try it. My almost ex's anger flared and died, flared again. She wanted the old version of me to resurface. The one who would make her comfort his job. I wasn't available for hire. Get out, I said, not loud, not soft. We're done. She stared, searching the room for a hook that wasn't there. Then she scoffed, wiped her cheeks aggressively like they'd betrayed her, and walked out. I closed the door on the last syllable of a word I didn't need in my house. I leaned against the door, not like the movies, not for drama, just because it was wood and it held. Sophia stepped up beside me with the plate of sliced fruit she'd made like a person who doesn't make messes in other people's stories. You okay? She asked. I am, I said. Sorry you had to see that. Please. She shrugged. I teach teenagers. This was an elective. She's going to say things about me, I said. She already started telling people I was absent, like she wasn't just absent physically. Sophia set the plate on the console. Do you care? I care about truth, I said. I don't need a parade. I just won't let lies run laps. Then you do what you do, she replied. You're good at being precise. I kissed her forehead. Simple, no performance. Breakfast is getting cold. We ate at the table with the sun doing its job. She asked about my childhood. I asked about hers, and the omelet disappeared like time does when it's not being stolen. The paperwork finalized a week later. No courtroom drama, no costumes, no speeches. I signed what I had to sign. She signed what she had to sign. She didn't get what she thought she would take. She sent me 3 texts the next day, each one trying a different script, sad, angry, then nostalgic. I answered none. That afternoon, I got a screenshot from Tara. My almost ex had told 2 of our mutual acquaintances that she left because I was seeing someone at work. People like easy stories. I like receipts. I opened my laptop and wrote one short post, not aimed at anyone. No names, no slurs, just 3 images. A blanked-out report with dates visible, my single reply to her girls' night text from 3 weeks prior, drive safe, and a photo of my dinner on one of the nights she disappeared with the timestamp. Captions, I don't know a narrative, but I won't accept a false one. I wish her well. We're done. Marcus called me an hour later. Subtle, he said. Effective. You didn't have to, he added. I wanted to sleep with the window open, I told him. No drafts. He laughed. You and your repairs. I'm good at them, I said. You're better at leaving bad rooms, he replied. Sophia and I kept our rhythm clean and simple. She stayed over once during the week. We did a Friday dinner with Marcus and his wife, where they asked her 50 questions, and she parried every one with a grin. I watched myself in that setting like an observer, not because I was checking out, but because I wanted to notice if I shrank to fit someone else's comfort. I didn't. A month later, I replaced the couch because it had a dent in a spot that held too many tired Sundays. I sanded the dining table lightly and oiled it until it looked like it had a spine again. I changed the routes I run in the morning. I even fixed the cabinet door in the bathroom that always sagged at the worst angle. Don't read poetry into it. A broken hinge is a broken hinge. Everybody likes a neat ending. Life isn't neat, but it can be clean. I don't finish with speeches. I finish with actions. The last time my almost ex sent a message was when she heard about Sophia from someone who sees everything. It came late at night, that hour people who made bad daytime decisions think clarity will save them. You moved on fast, she wrote. I looked at the screen for 2 seconds and typed one line. No anger, no spite, just a fact. I moved on the night I stopped accepting disrespect. Then I put my phone face down, turned to Sophia, and asked if she wanted to take a weekend drive upstate just to see water. She smiled like a person with her own life, not a passenger, and said, You drive. I'll DJ. At the shop, Nate teased me for getting lighter. You're annoying, he said. Happy and annoying. Comes with the package, I told him. You deserve it, he added, then winced like he'd been too sentimental. I demanded it, I corrected. Right. He grinned. There he is. On a Thursday, Gus at the garage tossed me the keys after a tune-up and said, Runs clean. So do I replied. He tipped his chin. Took you a minute. I had to measure twice, I said. Sophia moved in slowly, not like a parade, like a person who values order. A toothbrush found a spot. A sweater got a drawer. She left on Sundays to grade papers because her job mattered to her. She didn't try to move my tools. She asked what I wanted the living room to be and listened to my answer, then added something better and made me admit it. We didn't make promises we didn't plan to keep. We honored calendars and told the truth about being tired. If you need a lesson, here's the only one worth more than the wood I oiled. People show you who they are with their schedule. Believe the time they give you. Believe the absences too. If you're waiting for softer words after harder choices, you'll end up sponsoring the very thing that makes you small. I didn't roar. I didn't beg. I set rules. I enforced them. When the test came, I laughed, because sometimes the only response to a line that belongs in a bad movie is the sound of a man who knows it doesn't apply to him. Then I locked my door from the inside, not to keep the world out, but to keep what I built in. And in case she ever wonders, no, I didn't miss her. I missed myself. I'm back. The house can tell. The people who matter can tell. The road hears it in the way my truck sits in the lane. That's not poetry.